I've got some right random pickups here for lots of different consoles. We've got here about 20 games. We'll get through them thick and fast. I'll show you footage of each game. We'll talk about each game. I'll tell you where I've got them from. And we'll dive into a little bit on each one. Won't be a long video, won't keep you long. But we've got modern to old. We've got some Nintendo Switch, SNES, PlayStation 1. We've got Game Boy. We've got Xbox 360, 3DS, PlayStation 4. PS3, like, see what I say? We've got everything here.
Wow,
so
that's a lot of stuff.
Right in. This is literally just going to be a straight up pickup video, but obviously a little bit more. Always show you guys a bit of gameplay footage as well, so you can see if you want to get the game for yourself. Because that's the feedback I've got from most of you. I'm going to dive straight into one I picked up from eBay. Basically, with my boxed, with the old Nintendo stuff, it's nice having them boxed, like on your SNES, your 64, your NES. But there's some games I've had on my list for ages. I don't want to quite pay the price of what they're going for, but they've been on my list for like a few years, and I keep seeing them at like not boot fairs, but like game fairs, shops. But I'm not willing to pay that price. So, and then basically I took the bullet on a couple of them recently, just loose carts. So I was like, do you know what? Might have to just give in with some. So here's one I've wanted for ages and just couldn't find a decent condition box copy or want the money for it when it is decent condition. So they come up all the time loose. Thought I'm just going to grab it and I'm going to stop waffling and show you what it is. Put you out of suspense. The Mask. I absolutely loved this film. Shout out to Retro Ed UK because we had a little chat about old Cameron Diaz in this film, and he featured. I'll try and put a link to that video because it's quite funny. He done his 90s crushes, I think, the top 10 or top 5. But she did feature. Spoiler alert. Won't tell you whereabouts. But yeah, the Mask game, mate, the film was quality. The game, I never actually got to play, but it looks really fun. I'll show you some footage of it now. It's like a side-scrolling, well, obviously, side-scrolling sort of platform game. It looks absolutely bundles of fun. But yeah, it looks really, really cool. So finally able to actually grab it and play it. So I can't wait to actually play this, and then that'll look cool on the side of the shelf. Because if I'm going to wait for a box one, I could be waiting another 4 years, let's be honest. Here's speaking of staying with the theme of Retro Ed, I picked up a couple of bits from him. Basically, we went up we had a big weekend. I spoke about it a few weeks ago. We had an adventurous day where we went up to, we went up to see Feed Me Chicken. We stayed over his house, and there's some pickups from Feed Me Chicken coming up in a bit. All the guys I mentioned, I'll tag them into the description of the video in case you want to check them out and subscribe to those guys. So when we stayed over Feed Me Chickens, we did a swap of some games, me, Ed, and Mr. FMC. And then we went to Nottingham and met up with Goldtooth, Ali, 16 Bits and Bobs, Rampage Talk, Tessa, loads of people, which I've mentioned previously in the video. And then from there, on the same day, we drove all the way to see, up to Suffolk to see on the way home for a few hours to meet up with Scott Sega Zombie. Had a big meet up. We met a load of people down there as well. So along that adventure, I got some games from Ed. He basically brought a box. He's had them in the boot of his car, things he's willing to swap. We did a few trades, a few random bits. And for some reason, I just picked this up. So random, but it's a Disney game. It's planes. I've not seen this. Planes, Fire and Rescue. But do you know what I mean? You can imagine that being good somehow. You go around putting fires out. There's something like really satisfying about that. Do you know what I mean? Like Pilot Wings or something. Just a relaxing game you can pop in. Haven't seen the film. No idea. Obviously box and complete. And he just had it there. And I said, do you know what? That looks like it's probably worth a laugh. Because I've got a fair few 3DS consoles, but I very rarely play handheld unless I'm going on holiday or something, just for the transport. And I've got some 3DS games, but I've only got like half a dozen. Most of them are sealed, so as you can tell I don't play them a lot. So I thought that looks like a little fun one, so I picked that up. So thank you to Mr. Ed. And then sticking with the theme of that night and that weekend, so Mr. FMC was playing some games around here, mainly on the Wii. He said, Scott, take this one. I said I've got a 360, Xbox Live Arcade, and he was talking about a Pac-Man game, about how good it was. I don't know if it's Pac-Man Mania, but he just said it's like the ultimate, it's the best version of Pac-Man. So shout out to FMC. If you guys know what I'm talking about, please let me know. Oh, that's it, Pac-Man Championship Edition. Because in the top corner, you're not going to be able to see that. But here, he basically raved about it. He said, just for that alone, take this game. Not an expensive game, obviously it's probably a tuppence, but he said, Scotty, take that, give that a whirl. Also from him, because I said to him, look, this looked cool, looks interesting, but I said my Xbox is broken at the moment, Xbox One. I only play modern, like, sport titles, like Formula 1 games and stuff like that for the simulation, the realisticness of it. Other than that, everything I play is on old consoles, generally retro, a lot more retro than that. But this looked interesting. I like the sort of horror games. And he said, oh, it's really, really good. Take it in case you get to play it. So I did. And then basically what he was doing, he had some games which he wanted to recommend. He had a little letter. I don't know if I took it with me. It was like a letter that she wrote, and he wanted to pass it on to other tubers, so like a box. You take things out of it, add to it. A bit like the sort of Play It Forward, which you might have heard of. Similar to that, but it's more like a game that's special to you. That's what it is. So the game's special to you, I want you to try it. And then you add something to it that's special to you for someone else to try. So try and spread the word of some good games, do you know what I mean? Some of them that are a lot under the radar, do you know what I mean? If it's a game you think is really good and you want people to play, that was the idea of it. So that's where these games come from. And he said, I said, look, I haven't got a PS3. And he was just saying about how good this game was. Again, not an expensive one. And he said, take it and pass it on to someone who has. So I'm going to keep that to one side. And then I told him I'm picking up a PS4. Off of, basically, it's this weekend actually, when this video drops. So, off a family member, he's upgraded to a PS5. He's trading all his PS4 stuff. I said, look, we'll help each other out. Whatever they give you for credit, I'll give you cash. I get it cheaper, you get more money, and so on. So, I actually am getting the PS4, which I'm quite excited about. Because last time I had a PlayStation was PS2. So, he said this game's awesome. A bit of a horror game, really good story game. Might not be, no, Life is Strange complete season. You guys might know a bit about it. For some of these games, I've obviously been putting footage up, as you can see. I'm talking about Scott in the future. I can't tell how I've edited this video. I don't know what's to come. But yeah, so I'm going to be checking that one out very soon. By the time this video drops, I might have already have played that. So thank you to Mr. FMC. Thank you to Retro Ed UK for a fantastic weekend. And then on to the rest of that weekend meet up. So when we went over to see Scott Sega Zombie, shout out to the one and only Retro Chef, who's like the middleman and the bridge across the retro gaming community. What an awesome guy he is. I didn't even, this is a long time ago, must have been back in the day Swap Shop. And of course you know what Swap Shop is. The last Sunday of every month, tubers go on there and they put games up and they trade them and sell them to anyone who's watching. It's an awesome concept. But I love these sort of games. Jungle Strike, Soviet Strike, Desert Strike. Got my Mega Drive and SNES, different versions across different consoles, but I definitely had this Soviet Strike. I never played it with the old man, the PS1. It's a game he actually picked up. I think like my sister got Tomb Raider or something like that. I can't remember what I picked up, and he wanted this Soviet Strike. But yeah, he had it on a PlayStation. A lot of people say he played best on the sort of 16-bit, some of these games, you know, on the Mega Drive and stuff. But yeah, I had great fun with this on the PS1. It's in fantastic condition as well, completing that in there. But yeah, I said to fair play to Retro Chef for remembering that I wanted that, so he passed that on to me, which was cool. And I gave him Def Jam Vendetta, which again, to be fair, I had that for him for months as well, and I finally gave that to him a long time ago when he popped over here to the games room. Speaking of other tubers, before we go into the last bundle of stuff which I actually got today, I saw this, so Super Rare Games, which I talk about quite a bit. I don't go for a full set of them. I've bought some of their games, actually returned them. I try to check out demos. So I'm currently, there's a couple of games that Super Rare have got physically. And I played a couple of demos last night. One of them might have been, oh, what is it? It's a Rogue something. I can't remember. Rogue Arches, Rogue Legacy. I can't remember anyway. But sometimes I play the games and they're not all that. And that's why I don't rush in and buy them and think, oh, quick buy it before it sells out. Because 50% of the time, I keep the game. For example, Webbed looked awesome. I played it, got it at launch, played it for a bit, and it just sat on the shelf. So when you probably saw my recent Switch videos, which I'd done recently when I went through the collection, I actually pulled that out and I swapped it with Alex Ustar Gamer, who gave me some Wii games. I'll show you those in a second as well. Shout out to Alex Ustar Gamer. He gave me Mario Party 8, Mario Party 9, and New Super Mario on the Wii, because I'm on a big Wii flex at the moment. I'm Wiiing everywhere, all over the place. In the toilet, on the bathroom, everywhere, in the games room. Yeah, the trading values for those 3 Wii games and the Webbed game was similar. So yeah, me and Alex Ustar Gamer did a swap, so shout out to him. I can't bother to grab the games, they're over there in the corner on the shelf. But anyway, back to the matter in point. So yeah, so Super Rare Games. There is one in particular that looked a load of fun, and that is Lonely Mountains Downhill. I actually got this off of eBay. It's one of those games which sort of held its value, but it has dropped down a little bit recently, like a lot of the Super Rare games actually have recently, I feel like, the last few months. And this one was mentioned recently on Retro Ghetto's video, when he went through some of his Switch games, and he said about how fun this is. And I can imagine, if it's similar physics as a Switch game, like a motocross game, And let's just talk about the other one. I might be talking nonsense. There's a I'm about to grab it from the shelf, but I'll go off camera. It's like a motocross game, and it's like the mechanics of it's ridiculous, and you keep falling off, going again. It's like you're made of plasticine. But this looks similar, like a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll show you some footage of it so you guys can see exactly what it's like. But yeah, shout out to Retro Ghetto for mentioning. I'm sure it was him that mentioned this. Yeah, so basically I had on my eBay saved searches. I have lots of different things come up each day, and I have super rare games on there. I just look at the top page and delete it each day. But this was on there for lower than the asking price of CEX, like at the same price it trades in for. So I thought I might as well grab it, and that is what I did. So I'm really looking forward to checking that out. Now, the rest of the stuff I got literally today. So I managed to be out of work, so I had to get some stuff sorted. I say get out of work, I mean like an hour early or whatever, and I had to go pick something up, and I was up by a town, so I had a CX there. I always keep games in the boot of my car ready to trade in, because I never planned going to CX, and this is exactly the reason why. It's just convenience. So I thought, oh, I might as well pop to a CX. So I had a bundle of games. 3 of them were Switch games from my collection from the previous videos, which I pulled out and said I'm going to get rid of them. Some of them are retro games, like Mega Drive games. Some of them are Wii games. Well, I've been going through all my Wii games, playing all the bundles, playing each game, playing ones I thought I might like, and actually going, no, I don't like them, and so on. And anyway, I got about I got a £110 voucher. I spent it all in there. Ended up giving him 30 quid. So I'll show you what I got. Here was a bargain, right? I said to him, have you got any... I've been playing this. There's a lot of great shooters on the Wii. I keep banging on about it. Dead Space and the Wii's awesome. And I said, look, have you got any guns for the Wii? And they pulled out, they had 3. They had this little pistol. Yeah, boy. And they've been sitting there so long. They're not on the shelf, you can't see it. They've all got like £6, £7 tags on. But they all scanned in for like £5 maximum or less. And this one looks like better, newer condition than this one. But this looks more cool, look. It's more like... It's a proper gap, boy. Break yourself full. And then they had the old double-hander one. Oof, shout out to Goldtooth. The old double-hander. And I thought, do you know what? I said, mate, I'll take all 3 of them. And when he went to scan them in, they didn't... 2 of them he gave me for free, basically. He said, oh, I've got a tenner off, because they're just so old. They didn't come up, like, I don't sell them anymore. And I was like, fine, whatever. It is funny how certain games they just stop selling. I tried to trade into them NBA Jam for the Mega Drive, and it's on every console, that game. But on CX app, it's on every console except the bloody Mega Drive. I didn't seem to want to take it. And I was like, don't worry about it. Next. Right. Here's some games. Oh, I got to shout out to a lot of people, because the only reason why I brought this, I've been a proper little bitch here, because this isn't my sort of game, but Rob, 2D champion Rob, right? He mentioned this game. I can't remember, it was wasn't one of his videos. He might have been on one of someone else's videos, and he was talking about it. And he was saying the value of this game won't ever go down, and it hasn't. It will probably go up because it's a Nintendo exclusive or something. But anyway, he planted a seed in my head, and I've seen that it's never gone down, and it's not even my sort of game. I'm sure it is a lot of fun, but I'm just never going to get round to playing it. It's Marvel Avengers game, and I've literally just, like a little bitch, just someone said something, I've gone, okay, and I've just gone and brought it on the principle that this might be one that so I'll kick myself if it does go up. But yeah, I've heard a few people say it, and Champion 2D Rob, a lot of respect for him. He said this is one of those ones, special ones for the Switch. I picked it up, basically. I'm not going to say more than that. Been a bit of an idiot, really, I know that one. Now, here's one straight away for the PS4. So the reason why I wanted the PS4, because they've got some games on there which you just can't play on the Switch. For example, wrestling games. With a WWE 2K19, it was bugged to shit. I didn't bring any more games out other than that. And apparently the best WWE game in a long time is a 2K23. So I thought, you know what, I'll pick that up while it's in there. And the reason why I did was because this happens sometimes. The special editions are the same price as the normal. So the normal, I'll show you the CEX comparison, like the pictures. It's got different cover art. This comes with a little sleeve. It's a bit of a more, it's a deluxe edition. But obviously the deluxe stuff would be like vouchers and codes that have already been used. But I thought, you know what, it's the same price. It's different colour box art, like different variant, but it's the same price. So I thought I'd get that. So I used the credit for that. Now, I picked this up, Sonic Mania, and to be honest with you, I thought, I've got this game, Sonic Mania. I brought it a long time ago, digitally. Don't own it physically. There's another new game, Sonic game, that everyone's been raving about recently that come out of nowhere. I've forgotten what it is. I'll pop it up there. I'm sure you guys know what it is, and you're shouting at the telly or your phone or your tablet or your laptop or whatever you're watching this video on. I thought it was that, and it isn't. Sonic Mania isn't the most recent thing that come out. I was going to come to me in a minute. But I thought it was because of the way this box art was. So I picked it up, and as I did, like what's happening now, this fell out. How cool is that? So it's got like a manual and stuff in there. Look, it's all proper complete. They've made it like proper retro. It's got a nice little manual in there. So I've got this game digitally, but I don't have it physically. And again, a bit like that, I can't get that back in now. A bit like that wrestling game, the same sort of things happened. Oh, I can't get it back in. So normally you just get a normal size case like this one with that cover art, but this come with a little sleeve, that booklet, and then this sort of Mega Drive, old school, retro style, for the same price. So they trade them in the same price, even though this is obviously a more special limited edition. So yeah, so Sonic Mania Plus, I thought that's pretty cool. Right, let me get this back in. Talk amongst yourselves. So yeah, I basically just picked that up because I knew I was getting a bargain. So in the future, this, do you know what I mean? It's basically a limited edition version, so I thought that's pretty cool to have. So yeah, look, holographic case. So I got that, which is cool. Now this one here is two games left, these both Nintendo Switch. I had a Super Monkey Ball game, and I love Super Monkey Ball games on the GameCube. I've got all three of them, picked them up recently, didn't I, had the second and the third one, but I played a lot of the first one, loved Monkey Ball Target. That was the first video, me and Wayne, my friend who we started the channel with, Wayne's idea was to start the channel. That was our very first video, was me and him playing Monkey Ball Target. That's how the channel started, playing that game. But yeah, loved Super Monkey Ball. Had it a game on the Switch, one that came out ages ago, which I don't think was this one. I think that was Banana Ball HD or Banana Deluxe HD. I didn't play the modern ones, which are done, ones after the GameCube, so I'm assuming they're re-releases from the Wii. And I played it, got a bit stuck on it on the boss battles, couldn't get along with it, and I gave it to a friend's daughter. I gave it away, like literally like a month later, for like nothing, because she had a Switch. Or I might have given it to her during lockdown, I can't remember. Anyway, but I saw this Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, and I've been liking going back to play those earlier ones on the GameCube. And I thought, do you know what, let's even got a little booklet in there. I thought this isn't the one I had and gave away. The other one was the Banana Blitz, whatever it's called. So I thought, do you know what, I've actually not played this one, and I probably should have given the other one a chance. So I've been a bit of a mug there. I'll just pull the sticker off, but I paid about 18 quid for that. But I thought, do you know what, it'd be good to enjoy a modernish Monkey Ball game. And the last game I got, I'm going to pull the sticker on this off this one I'm talking about as well. Show you some footage of it. I've seen this come up on like Switch Player magazine. Shout out to them. Unfortunately, they have finally packed it in. Not enough support, and I'm to blame as well, to be fair, because I stopped buying it. I'm well behind of reading stuff. I've got running magazines piled up downstairs, but unfortunately they're closing. So if you go on to, that's like the best unofficial Nintendo Switch magazine. It's nice and small as well. Unfortunately, they've sort of closed up shop, so you can buy a lot of their back catalogue now. I'm sure they brought up Suicide Guy. I've heard maybe Radical Reggie talk about it, or I've definitely seen it in the eShop. But I didn't know it was a physical game, and I just saw it in the shop. And again, I pulled the sticker off. I think it was like a 15 quid game, Suicide Guy collection. It just looks like a little bit of fun. I thought, I can't leave that there. I haven't stumbled across that physically. So yeah, so I just grabbed that. So yeah, that's it guys. I hope you enjoyed the footage. Let me know if you played any of those games, if you own any of those games, and if you're going to add any of those games to your collection, or whether you think some of those are stupid games to get and I should just take them back. Shout out to everyone who featured in the video. Like I said, they'll always be in the description for you to check them out. So like, share and subscribe to those guys. It'd be muchly appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe to myself as well, Marathon Gaming, because it's absolutely free. It costs you nothing. Hit the bell icon as well, and that way you get notifications when videos go live. Generally, they're twice a week, Sundays and Wednesdays, but sometimes they're not, like this video, and they come out on a random day. Anyway, have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye. I'm Mario. And I am the Hedgehog. And today, with this...